had something I was going to say. Now completely. So we were talking about the Marvel movies, and the point that I was going to make that I think pretty much everyone can agree with me here. People hold their Star Wars, sci-fi, like superhero movies, like nerds.
Yes.
Hold their nerd movies very dear.
Absolutely.
And people freak out if they're different or not what they
canon
want.
or got it. Totally agree.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
In that whole genre of just like nerd movies.
Totally. Yes.
And the biggest thing that I come back to is just enjoy the superhero movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it gets on my nerves. What you were doing is not this, but a lot of people
in general.
A lot of people say when a lot of the DC movies came out, like when Batman vs Superman came out, everybody freaked out. It was the worst movie ever. Or Jared Leto's Joker that we always joke.
Well, the whole Justice League movie got bad reviews.
Yeah, like all the DC movies that have come out recently,
shit.
Everybody freaks out about them, and like, yeah, like they are kind of shitty, but at the same time, just go watch Ben Affleck like blow stuff up. Like,
just enjoy watching a superhero movie.
It's a silly, like, it's not real. It's a superhero movie.
Yes.
To be fair, though, the Justice League did have a lot of issues. They had two separate directors.
No, I agree with you. It wasn't. I'm not saying that those were good movies or anything, but like, as far as just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, nerds take their nerd movies really seriously.
Yeah. I consider myself a nerd, but this is literally giving me cancer right now. Where's the bottle of alcohol? I need to drink this.
It was here somewhere. I don't know.
I'm gonna go find it.
All right, have fun. That's all I'm saying. All right. You have your views. I have my views. And
maybe you should view the movies.
So this is what I'm telling you, right? To appease you better, I will go watch every Marvel movie I have not seen. Every single one of them.
There's several I'm missing.
I will go watch whatever ones you tell me to watch it. So the New Avengers, Black Panther, Ragnarok. That's your big three, right?
Those are probably
that's your bench squat deadlift. Those are your big three. I will go watch I will go watch all three of those. You know what I'm going to tell you after I watch them? Hey, they were really good movies. Still dry as fuck.
No.
I'm not going to tell you that they're shit movies, and I'm not saying they are shit movies. I guarantee you they are fantastic, they're super fun, they're enjoyable. That's not what I'm saying.
The best one out of those three, like as far as the ones that I liked the best, was Ragnarok, because unlike all the other ones, it was funny as hell. It was so hilarious.
Okay.
Unlike all the other Marvel, like, and they have like their little campy moments.
Yes.
That movie in particular, I was rolling laughing the whole time.
I will say though, to an extent, sometimes it feels overplayed. Like they know where they
like, don't take it so
it.
seriously. Like, it's like
it can be overplayed.
Well, all I'm saying is, still cookie cutter, and if I have a cookie cutter that looks like a fucking retarded clown, you'll think that's a funny looking cookie. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. Nate's our guest this week. We're back, everybody. Thursday special episode.
Alright.
Well, you say Thursday, but it'll come out, probably 3 days from now.
Yeah, we're doing it on a Thursday, but you were actually really fast at the last one, though.
Yeah.
It was
Why didn't you load
even though he skipped
the
an
episode that we still...
I don't want you to upload that one.
Why not?
I'm glad you brought this up.
I want him to wait, and when the show is over, that'll be the long lost episode that never got uploaded, and then it'll get uploaded.
It's a lost tape.
I don't remember,
Exactly.
I don't
It's
remember
a shit episode.
I remember
Lost
being
tapes.
like an okay episode.
We just talked about how we're leaving. That's it. That was awful.
It's not, like, it won't make any sense.
At all. That's the best part. Because the figure it out crew couldn't figure it out.
It's the pre-JRTC
Total
video.
Just a total shit show.
Just moving on.
Bingo.
Old natty Spicy Boy Wilcox. You go ahead and
Wait, Neil Cox.
you go do
Doc
your
Cox.
thing. Big
Go ahead
Cox.
and introduce yourself.
Alright, so the medic for these guys came in as second platoon's medic.
Fuck yeah.
And
Yeah,
boys.
You're in the second platoon as much as
Dude.
we are.
Duda Squad. You don't even know anything about it.
What is
Rob.
that? What are you
Yeah,
talking
you
Duda
about?
Squad. Fucking hashtag Duda.
Dude, you deployed with like
ACO.
Like,
yeah.
did you deploy with like the nursing home or something?
ACO.
He deployed at the field hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know what you did.
I spent most of my time at the pool.
Yeah, most time in Kuwait. No.
Did you know Sergeant Murphy?
Yeah, I did actually. He was in Al Saud with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So you barely
cool
knew.
dude. Yeah, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Nico senior medic now. Yeah, that's pretty much like the gist of it.
Yeah, but who are you? I don't care about who
Who are
your
me?
medic is. Who are you?
That's a deep question.
It is a deep
Really
question. Who are
He
you?
likes to summon demons.
Yeah,
You do have
I'm
some
a,
demons.
I
Great
do. This is actually based off my witch hunting experience.
Yeah, we're gonna get on that.
Which-
That's some exciting stuff.
Oh.
Like the Blair Witch Project movie is actually based off
Yeah,
of your
off
real
of
life
me.
exploits.
Yeah. Nathaniel
so
Bryan Wilcox, look it up.
Really excited
Based
about
off me.
it.
Lots
Wait,
of
are you
good
serious
facts.
right now?
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
happened.
it's based. Oh Jesus! It's based off of me.
his real life
You
exploits.
thought that cup was a witch. That's why. You hit
Yeah, that's I.
That's a good way to test. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you get to like,
So
you
if there's a witch,
you gotta scare the
if
cup.
there's a witch in the room, she'll make it spill.
Yeah.
So it didn't spill, so we're good.
So there's no witches. This is
Shikai's
a
not a
witch-free
witch,
podcast.
which I suspected, but he's not.
Did
Yeah.
you put a fake nose on her too?
Yes. So who am I? It's good. From Washington State.
Do it for state, dude.
Do it for stay.
Yeah. Hashtag do it for state. Don't go. It's a fucking sausage fest.
Hashtag sausage fest.
I don't know. Really, nothing crazy. Joined straight out of high school. Just your average white dude.
But you're not average. You're
6 foot.
you're a successful witch hunter.
You're also
That's true.
Quite,
That's-
quite the spicy boy.
Yeah, pretty spicy.
And a male porn star.
Yeah, and a male porn star. Look me up.
The list
Doc
goes
Cox.
on.
Strictly gay porn.
You can find me on
Yeah.
Pornhub, YouPorn, RedTube, XXX Videos, and yeah, all of the good
Hell
ones.
yeah.
XXX hamster.
Hamster.
It's
all
not
that.
XXX hamster. It's just X hamster.
Yeah, but it's still a good one. You
It's
can
a
find
great.
me on
It's a
there.
great. A lot of
Porn
hamster shit on
name
there.
Doc Cox.
I was about to say you have a
Only gay
Yeah.
porn because that's where the money's at.
Well, yeah.
Tons of sloppy toppy, just real sloppy
Well-
toppy.
Moving right along.
Moving on from that. I'm really good at it too, but I don't get paid for it. That's the only difference.
I'm not afraid of you.
I'm not afraid. Do you tell it? You told it
Yeah,
last
I told
one,
it
right?
last
Okay,
week.
yeah, great story. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. This is the first time we've done a back-to-back guest episode, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, except last week you had Miles, who
Last week we had
absolute
shit. Yeah, shit.
By the way,
guest.
Miles is a terrible friend. They talked about it last episode, but absolute
He
shit friend.
sucks.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm honestly like I kind of want more guests.
I agree.
I'm enjoying
I
like
literally just wanted to say we should have a guest every episode.
So we talked
I've been
about
saying that
We
from
did-
the beginning.
Yeah. So from the very beginning, we did talk about it, right? Because we knew that there was really good potential for guests because of strictly the content that they bring, right?
Yeah.
Like this episode with you will never be the same as any other episode that just him and I would do because it's a whole other factor added into it. So we've always thought it would be a really good
yeah.
Good.
like concept, I guess.
Well, like think about it. We're what 13 deep now.
This will be 14.
We kind of know. We just kind of know what we're doing a little bit more. Granted, we had the big break, but like it's not much to figure out. Like turn on the
Hey,
camera and have a
Snapchat.
conversation. But
Yeah.
now it's like now that we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's
kind
like,
of the format.
I guess it's just so easy just to throw in there now.
Yeah, it's great, and people really enjoy the guest episodes. Like
Yeah.
I get that's the ones I get the most feedback from. People are like, "Hey, man, I really liked,
Yeah.
you guys
I've got-
having this guy on." Or
I
whatever."
have a laundry list of people I'd like to have on as guests.
We need to find like a female friend. I don't know if we don't have those, but to put her on the show because
Natalie,
who?
me in a wig.
Oh
That's
wait,
100%.
go get really drunk. Love Becky on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Oh, Becky, dude.
I
could have
I
Becky.
do not have enough booze here to get him to Becky mode.
Yeah, you do. It doesn't take that much.
7 Coronas deep. I'm good to go, dude. Just-
No, I realize that we've never had a female on the show before. We're totally sexist, by the way.
We haven't had a black
It's
guy
true.
either.
We haven't, but we have plenty we want.
Yeah.
Got plenty of pico.
Plenty.
Just
plenty.
grab any one of them.
Yeah, plenty we want to have on the
We
show.
did, our first guest was Asian, so
Well, no, didn't someone like bring up like they were like something about like racism on our show, and we were like, our first guest was Asian, our next one was Hispanic, and then there
was old.
there was an old middle-aged white man.
Yeah.
We
Fine.
we appeased everyone.
Yeah.
The only racist person here is John.
Going back to how shitty Miles is, though,
Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
a story about Miles. So, he
Okay.
left me
Probably better
with
than
a
the story he told.
Satanist.
Oh,
Yes,
A
I love
Satanist. This is in
story.
Chapel Hill,
This
so-
story is great. Yeah.
this is
So-
what your Joes are doing, NCOs.
Just building up to it. Me and Miles were trying to find people to go to Chapel Hill with us. No one decided to go, so me and Miles headed up there, just us two. Ended up getting up there. We went to, I don't even remember the name of the bar, but some college bar.
Probably top of the hill or something.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways.
Chapel Hill's a college town, by the way.
Yeah.
In case no one knows that. You're an
Yeah,
idiot.
so end up getting there, we're
Idiot
drinking, and some random chick comes up to us, and of course, She's not that cute, but Miles will hit on anything that walks. You know,
That's
shocking.
doesn't even matter if there's a dick between the legs.
Yeah,
He'll
if
fucking
it
hit on
walks, he'll hit on it. So
if it'll potentially buy him a vodka Red Bull.
yeah.
Sugar-free vodka.
And those of you who don't know me
Yeah.
when I'm drunk, they call me Becky, and I just get wild and make terrible, terrible mistakes.
Yeah. It's
Anyways,
I once witnessed.
ended up getting in this car with this
You don't want me to tell the
girl
story.
Yeah.
because Miles wanted to go get food, and I didn't want to go home with him, and we
Whose
decided
car
we were
were you
gonna
in?
stay this chick's.
You were in her car?
Yeah, in her
Okay,
car.
Okay.
And so, get in the car with her. She drives me back to her house saying I can sleep on her couch, and Miles was going to come over after picking up food. I was like, okay, don't leave me in this car, but I was too drunk to get out and walk. So Miles just left me in the car and said, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds about right.
get to her house, and I was like, looking around, and there's like 10 cats. There's a lot of fucking cats.
man.
A lot of
It's a lot of
cats.
pussy.
And for some reason, in my head, I'm just like, who has a lot of cats?
Crazy people. And lonely ladies.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
And witches.
That's the first thing that came to my
Witches have
mind.
cats.
Me being a witch hunter, identified the house right away.
Those cats
A
could have been
witch's
witches
house.
in disguise.
They
dude.
were.
They can because they can
So-
transform.
Have you seen Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Yeah.
She's hot, dude.
Her cat Salem.
What was her
Yeah.
name?
Sabrina.
No.
Teenage Witch.
Idiot.
No. The actual, the real lady. She's hot.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
Who is she? What's her
I
name?
don't
I have no clue, but
Melissa Joan Hart.
Sounds like something the producer should.
We're not cavemen. We have technology.
anyways,
We are
so
cavemen.
I ended up at this chick's house, and I just ended up asking her. I was just chilling, and I was like, "Hey, are you a Satanist?" And she
You actually, that was like
yeah,
that was
like
a specific thing you
just-
asked. Was,
Yeah,
are you
except
a
it was
Satanist?
more like me being drunk. Like, "Hey, are you a Satanist?"
That's a
and
really
she was
specific
like,
thing to ask, man.
"Yeah, I am."
Wow.
The story's not even that weird yet. Like, it gets so much weirder. So
Yeah.
she puts on The Office on her TV, and I'm like, this is my
show.
favorite show. I'm gonna sit down and watch this.
Sure.
So I'm like sitting there, I'm like texting Miles, and I'm like, dude, of course it's like really drunk text, and I'm like, dude, this chick's a Satanist. I need you to pick me up. She might kill me. Like, I thought she was gonna sacrifice
It's
me.
possible. Yeah. Very
Total
possible.
logical thought.
Absolutely.
So I'm texting him, and he's not replying, of course, because he's a shit friend. Fuck you, Miles.
He's awful. He probably left you there.
So I texted him. I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm feeling like I'm gonna steal some shit." And she had a pipe just sitting on her coffee table.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, man, I meant to say I'm going to steal her pipe, but it came out as I'm going to stake her pipe."
Which is
So Miles
Whole
was
different
like,
meaning.
"This dude's about to fuck this chick," and I was like. Next day, of course, I was like, no, that's not what I meant. But anyways, said that, and then I was like, hey man, there's a lot of cats, I'm gonna steal one. So I was just like going through her house, like, what could I steal from this chick? Long story short, ended up laying down on the couch, like, fuck it, Miles isn't replying, whatever. Some dude just opens the door randomly and goes, he's like, I don't even know their names, but I'll just fill it in. He's like, hey, I'm Jake. Laurel told me to come over.
I heard Yanny just now.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was like, dude, not my house. I don't give a fuck. I'm just sleeping here. Go ahead and go back there.
Yeah.
Could have been a stranger. Could have been the next door neighbor.
Could have
He
been
went back
a
there.
mass murderer.
Next thing I know, I'm waking up at 6 in the morning. Like, Miles isn't there. Still no text from him. I'm calling him. Ended up finding him. He slept in the parking lot and just said fuck me and left me with a Satanist.
Are you
So,
surprised?
That's how good of a
Miles.
shitty friend he is.
He's
Yeah.
awful. He is
Terrible
the
friend.
most selfish, self-centered fucking person you will ever meet in your life.
Yep.
If it does not benefit him in one way or another, he won't do it. Last night, he came to work on the fucking while we were on the desk. Shows up, already fucking buzzed with two of our real platoon winners in the back seat. Comes up to the desk and he's like, Ben, I need you to drive me to the bar. And Ben's like, that's not how this fucking works.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know, like, I'm at work right now.
Yeah.
I can't just leave to drive
He
you
has
to the bar.
Uber.
Yeah, there's
begged,
Uber.
He begged Britt to let Ben drive him. He's like, you, like... Meanwhile, I'm not there because I actually had to go do work.
Yeah, actual.
So I had to go do real work. When I come back, Ben's gone. I'm like, where the fuck is Ben? And Britt's like, well, he had to go drive Miles. I'm like,
No, he didn't.
he
Yeah,
didn't. He
no.
fucking didn't. Miles did not need to take his own fucking car. He could have Ubered.
Yep.
He's a fucking idiot.
He brought those chicks over to the room
Ratchet
last night.
bitches.
Which ones?
The annoying ones.
I don't know who they are.
Oh yeah, I know who they are.
I'm not gonna.
Are they
Great
ratchet? Are they beat?
Yeah, apparently they're pretty ratchet.
Anyways, so they were all already drunk when I was there,
Yay.
and I was like cooking up some eggs, and I was about to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was about to make some eggs, and then I was gonna make some pre-workout, chill for a little bit,
Sounds great.
and then go to the gym. And so they walk in, and she's like screaming FaceTiming with her mom, just super obnoxious. And I'm like,
Classy.
okay, well, I'm gonna, make pre-workout with one hand. I'm gonna make the eggs with the other. I'm gonna drink, sit, and I was going so fast. And you know how we are. We usually take a minute before we work out.
Yeah, watch a lot of wrestling compilations.
Yeah, a lot of RKO.
Jeff Cavalier.
I didn't get a single RKO compilation before my workout.
Are you serious?
Yeah, not one.
That's a problem. Dude.
Yeah.
That's a serious problem.
And it was one of the worst workouts I've ever had.
You know why?
The point is I got out of there real quick. And I never closed my door. I never lock it.
You shut it.
I locked it this time.
Smart.
Yeah.
You would have came home to probably a shit on your floor or throw up or something.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or just
Or some
a
ratchet
rat.
or some ratchet ass a witch.
A witch.
A witch.
A dead lady boy.
Or a dead lady.
any
boy.
number of things, really.
Endless possibilities.
Yeah.
You could have the Ark of the Covenant could have been in your room when you got back. Who knows?
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Diver.
That would
And if Dio was in my room, I'd be okay with that.
Dio is in anywhere in my life right now. I'd be okay. Sorry. That's a spirit of Dio. Tickled your nose. All right, man.
Dude, I have a giant tiger tattoo on my back because of the song Holy Diver.
Dio's.
I feel like is that really because of
It's
that?
a big
or-
reason why.
It's a big
yeah.
reason,
It has
okay.
a lot to do with it.
I didn't know if that was just part of it.
You know one thing, man. Dio's one of those musicians where he's just all about his fans, and he's really about, or I should say, was because obviously he's dead. Rest in peace. However,
Wait, Dio's dead?
yeah, he's been dead for years.
I'm just kidding. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's alive in our hearts. He's
Yeah,
also,
he
my,
lives on
He's
forever.
also my wallpaper.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen it. I love it. Dio riding a tiger on or spreading a rainbow. But Dio, in all of his songs, dude, constantly is telling people to look out.
Yep.
He's just always, dude, he's trying to keep you on your toes, bro.
Watch out, man.
He's like, look out! And he's like, whoa, there's a bus. Thanks, Dio.
I'm such a big Dio fan. In my notes, I have a I don't know how you describe a really long scroll in with texting and stuff.
Epitaph.
Whatever it is, it's an entire fan theory, lyric by lyric of Holy Diver or Rainbow in the Dark, one or the other. I can't
Great
remember.
song. Either way, great song.
And it's it literally is breaking down every single line and what he thinks Dio meant by it.
That's fantastic.
It's so awesome.
That is great, dude.
That's
Dio's
what
the
that's
shit.
what I did in Iraq.
Dio's
I
the
just
shit.
listened to every night. I used to catch a camel spider and sacrifice it to the ghost of Ronnie James Dio,
Preach.
and that's
It's a good one.
why we came back. What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Speaking
There you
of Iraq and work,
Yeah.
All American Week was this week.
It was.
100 years.
Is that so? That was the thing, right? It was
100 years.
100 years of the 82nd
Yep.
being a division.
100 years, yep. It's freaking nuts.
You know what?
That's a long time.
Do you know what it is? And I just figured it out now as we were talking about it. Last year was the 100-year anniversary, the date that I should know. But I think when they did All American Week, it hadn't hit 100 yet.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense to me now because this entire time I'm like, it's 101 years.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was 99.
Yeah.
All American Week last year.
Yeah.
So this year,
and then they hit the
and then
birthday.
it hit.
Yeah.
So this is.
Not necessarily this week.
Dude,
No,
that has
no,
been
yeah.
bothering me all week. I'm like, are we at 101?
We're at 100.
Yeah. Now it makes sense.
That's it is.
Crazy.
It's pretty wild, man. I
Should have gone to college.
It would have been.
Should have gone to college.
I feel like it would have been. All American Week could be so much more. I feel like it's all in all, it's kind of disappointing on what really culminates.
Honestly, I don't feel like there's any history really. It's just sports.
That's what I'm
really
saying.
What it
Yeah,
is. it's great for us because we get to wear PTs to work. For
Yeah,
a week
we
and
pretty much hardly ever
don't do
work.
any work.
Yeah, it's great.
But I mean, there's not a whole lot of history. I don't feel like.
No,
There's just
you guys are dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I feel so bad.
Just do layouts and
It's so dumb, dude.
I don't know.
It's insane.
yeah.
But
No, it's
we did the division run. That was silly.
yeah. That was dumb. There's
That
tons
was
of fallouts too, which
Dude,
just scream at them, telling them they
So
suck.
funny. Because a big thing with our guys is when
Shame.
well, no, so we would do the shame, and we
Shame.
the base one was they yell, take that fucking shirt off.
Yeah.
I control the fallouts. My favorite thing is so our company loves to bark at people for various reasons.
You want to give them an example? Because it's not we're not going woof.
Dude, so one of the ones that I started while we were running.
Comfortable?
Oh, real low there.
Yeah,
back
low,
up.
low,
Back up at the
real high, there we
back up
go.
at the grown-ups table, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good to have you.
Welcome back, man.
Yeah,
I'm so
thanks.
proud of you,
Appreciate
man.
it. Yeah.
Dude, it's so
Yeah, I'm
good,
a big
buddy.
kid now.
No. One of the ones that I started was there's a whole bunch of fallouts running to our right, and I just screamed, "Everybody bark at the quitters!" And then everybody just as we're running by, and people are just like they're like hyperventilating,
they're
like throwing
dying.
up while they're getting barked at by a company of dudes.
Like,
Not gonna mention names, but there's a certain mortar NCO that's gone now. But another NCO was yelling at him, telling him he was a piece of shit, and saying, "Good thing you didn't wear the battalion
yeah,
shirt."
it was so funny. He was like, "You piece of shit! Thanks for not wearing the battalion shirt, you mother."
Yeah.
I guarantee you he planned that because he knew his fat ass was gonna fall out. So
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
"I'm not gonna wear a battalion shirt today. It wasn't clean."
The
Maybe.
classic
I don't know.
army shirt, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many of them. It was kind of amazing too, because I was talking to my medics and I was like, we haven't done any running since like 2 months before JRTC.
Wow,
We've done
you're
nothing
all
but
still in good shape.
go to the gym, and we all made it through the run.
Yeah, because it's like
And
a
then all of
10-minute
these
fucking
fat
pace at
pieces
the
of
fastest.
shit can't. I'm like, what do you do?
Dude, we had a
I want
guy.
to know what their workout routine.
We had a
is.
guy fall out before we got to the start point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was Sergeant Bush. I'll call his ass out. I don't even
And
care.
there's names. Yeah, like
No, that guy's
he's
just
fat as
fat.
fuck. though, yeah.
FSBP leads the way.
Yeah,
right?
dude, fucking up those barracks.
I'm
man.
sorry, but yeah, that dude just. It's amazing.
That, you know what that is? That is accepting your lot in life of going.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Just
no
not good
longer
at running.
required to do physical things anymore. I'm just not going to do PT, but I'll fix your barracks key.
Yep.
Honestly, dude, I would trade jobs with him right now. I would love that.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Because you know what I did this week? Looked for a thermometer that didn't exist.
One of the ones
Didn't
for
exist, man.
Corten?
They're like, this
Wait,
is gone.
wait.
Where's it at?
Hold on. Was it one of the ones you guys would use for a core temp?
Oh yeah.
A
I know where
It
to
was,
start.
it was
I know
a
where to
butt
start looking.
thermometer.
I know where to start.
Where's
looking. Up everyone in the battalion's ass.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Wait, hands across.
Are you talking about the one that was at staff duty?
No, that one's gone.
Okay.
That one's gone. No,
Johnny
no,
knows
we're tracking
where it
that
Yeah,
one.
Johnny knows exactly where it's at.
Yeah.
I know.
It's just-
I found
With the
it.
missing thermometer.
I found the butt. I found the butt thermometer.
But yeah, no.
Wait, is this what? Is this?
And like
this
I
the one
tried
you're talking about?
explaining to like my command team, I was like, it's only $230, which is a lot, but split up between 40 people, it was like $5
Yeah,
a
but
piece.
you guys shouldn't
like,
have to buy it. It's not.
Yeah,
yours
but
to buy.
at that point we were having to stay like almost. It was going to be an all-night search,
That's.
and at that point $5 is worth being able to go home. And
I
not have to
agree.
do dumb
Yeah.
stuff.
No. I agree, man. Absolutely. So.
But yeah, like just dumb shit like that. And speaking of which, another thing that we had today is
Oh, this was. the
we were
stupidest
standing
thing
in
ever.
formation for the whole just the
What even like? What
the
is
civilians to look at us.
It's called the All American Review. It's a passing review
Yeah.
for the entire division.
It's for the civilians to look at us.
Yes,
That's what it is.
That's
it's
all it is.
Dumb.
Yes.
So
Waste of taxpayer money, completely.
waste
yeah.
of everyone's
Time, money. We showed up at 0430, right?
I-
I take
so-
dog and pony
we had to be there at 05, which means you had to wake up at. I live in the barracks
04:30.
right across from work, so I had to wake up at 04:30 just to go there, wait around for a while, then bus out, wait some more, and then go out to a field, wait for a really long time, then walk up in the most screwed up march ever with no ranks or anything. We looked like a bag of ass, if we're
Yeah.
being honest. And then we stood out there, stood at attention, saluted the flag, listened to the
Total of
national anthem.
15 minutes
Yeah.
only.
And then we just walked back and then walked across the entire drop zone to our own civilian vehicles that then took us back. And the entire thing, by the time I actually was released and like got back to my room to shower and everything, because we were all covered in sweat because we were outside, 10 hours.
Yeah.
10 hours of my
For
life.
15 minutes
Gone.
of standing in front of people so that they could watch us stand there.
This is
That's all
what
it
this is what I hate about the Army, and I'm not surprised by any of this. Like I very much knew what I was
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
into about today. Like, I was like, this is probably how this is gonna go. It doesn't mean I didn't hate it any less.
No, it's still total
But-
shit.
Yeah.
To go into that, the whole thing that I was trying to say was we had this NCO that was standing next to me that
Oh,
we were
this
just joking
douchebag.
around, like trying to pass time, right? Like, it's a shitty situation,
Yes.
trying to make some jokes.
Yep. So you make fucked up jokes, pass the time,
Yeah.
keep the morale
You
up.
can
And
hold that.
there was this guy from
Yeah,
Seacoast,
you can hold
Tulip,
that.
and he was talking about, after JRTC, he was talking about throwing a Bloods and Crips party. And so I was just like, yo, what's up, Blood?
Yeah,
What's up, Blood?
you can
Just
hold
like
that.
throwing
You can
that
hold
word
that.
around a lot, It's like, what's up, Blood?
Yeah,
Like,
we do it burn all the
yeah,
time.
like
can
not
hold
a big deal at all. This NCO for some reason took huge offense to it
Really?
and looked at me and was like, "Hey, shut the fuck up." And I looked at him because I thought he was fucking with me, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
I
what's
thought,
up,
yeah, he
Blood?"
sounded like he was.
And so that's what I did. I went, "What's up, Blood?" And he's like, the fuck you say? I'm fucking serious. Shut the fuck up. And I was like, oh, my bad, Sarn. Like,
Did he seem
like just totally killed the mood.
Did he seem like he'd be gang affiliated?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. Word.
But yeah, no, like he just totally killed the mood. And me and Rob just kind of looked at each other, and then he went back on his phone. And I was just like,
But man,
you know, like, thanks for killing the vibe,
take the
dude.
grunt out of the ghetto. You can't take
Just
the grunt out of the
harshing the mellow, dude.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Dude, and then on the way back, so we had just did our little dog and pony show, walked all the way back, got our crap that we left in the field way, back by the wood line.
Yeah.
And then had to walk, across the drop zone. And I took my top off because it was insanely hot.
yeah.
I was covered in sweat. And we're all walking, the entire division's walking.
Well, what did I say to you too? I literally said, I'm taking this off and I'm walking with my top off till someone yells at me. Because I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I knew
Yes.
that's what it was gonna. I knew it was gonna go down. I wasn't gonna put my top back on
No.
until I was told to.
Exactly.
A lot of
Because it was
stuff in
so
the
hot.
army is doing things until someone tells you not to.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they're stupid, whatever it is
Yeah,
they
they're
make you
dumb.
do.
Just a
And so
dumb
we're
reason.
walking, and sure enough, some douchebag E7 is like, "Hey, put your top on. Stop walking and put your top on." I'm like,
Like I can't multitask.
all right, so I'll
Like,
stop the thing that's gonna get me out of here to put on the thing that's gonna possibly make me heat cat, and then
I'm so glad I wasn't out there.
it was so dumb, dude. It was just
I was getting pretty heated about the whole
Yeah, I'm
situation.
so glad I wasn't there.
yeah. This is definitely like one of the more special needs things I've done in the last couple months.
Yeah.
I'm
It was
100% fine with not being there.
very
Yeah,
much
I posted a
artistic
snap.
screeching.
I posted a snap. I just took of almost not even the entire group, but like
There's a lot, though.
more than
Oh,
half probably.
hundreds.
Yeah.
And it was just like every beret you see represents a mistake made. Or
Multiple.
some more than one. Some of those guys re-enlisted for this.
God.
I fucked up.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
for you to re-enlist, it's one thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
you have a different situation.
We were talking about like single dudes that re-enlisted,
Yeah.
like Beefly, for example, re-enlisted.
Sure. Yeah.
Why? I just don't understand why you would do that to yourself. Me personally, this job is like not necessarily like stress that from actual things that should stress you out. It's dumb stress.
Yes.
Just absolute stress that shouldn't
Yeah.
be in your life. That it just makes me not want to do anything at some points.
No,
and
it's
so I'm like,
understandable.
fuck that. Why would I put myself through that?
So the only thing that I can think of, right, is, and I don't know, I can't speak for anybody in particular because I don't know everyone's, like, for instance, single guys, right? That's who we're going to target this at.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
because
because
guys who re-enlist,
yeah.
it's a different
There's
story, you know.
reasons,
There's
yeah.
reasons for the,
Stability
We're looking at
is-
single guys who re-enlist, right?
Yeah.
After, which is, it's not very common, but when it does happen. So for me, for instance, right, before I joined the Army, I worked 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, like that was my life.
Yeah.
While living at home, granted, right? I was
Yeah.
still living with my parents. I was like 20, I think. Working full time.
Can I ask you a question that's relevant to this particular part of your story?
Yes.
How long after you're graduating high school did you then join the military?
2 years.
Okay.
Little
So
over.
there's like 2 years where you're working.
So yeah, so I graduated in 2013. I was working all my senior year part time. Graduated in 2013, and then I did full time work from 2013 to 15.
Gotcha.
When I went and technically I joined in early or very very late 14. I was in basic on the new year.
Okay.
Of 15. However, like you were saying, like with stresses and things,
Yeah.
right? I know what my life was before I joined the Army, and I know that if I was not living at home, I would be on the streets. I was working full time at like $10 an hour, which is pretty good for like a minimum wage
Civilian
Yeah,
job.
civilian
Yeah.
job. I was making like $10 an hour,
Or not
40.
not minimum wage, but starting wage.
Sorry, because that minimum wage is how
$7.25.
whatever it is right now. Yeah. So I was making $10 an hour. I was
Yeah.
getting 40 hours a week. I could get overtime if I wanted it. Like I was like, it's not bad. And I barely had that many bills, and I was still living paycheck to paycheck. And I know, and I made the decision because when I joined, I was single, I didn't have a family, didn't anything like that. I joined, and I said to myself, I'm like, man, I don't ever want to go back to that.
Yeah.
Because it was miserable. It was like, it was also not realistic if I was on my own. And I knew that I didn't want to go back by the time I would have got my first contract, I would have been 23. I didn't want to go back and move in with my fucking parents at
Yeah.
23. That's 100% moving backwards in your life.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. So the only thing that I could think of for single guys who re-enlist is maybe they've gone through that, right? Maybe they've experienced that. A lot of guys haven't, though. A lot of guys were fresh out of high school and they never experienced how hard the real world fucking is.
To continue on like kind of what you're saying for like reasons why single guys
Sure.
might re-enlist.
Yeah.
Some dudes genuinely don't hate the Army. You know
Some guys love the
There's
Army.
a lot of
and
guys that like it.
awesome
and
for those
that's
guys.
great for them.
Yeah.
But a lot of the guys that we complain about are the people who say they hate work and how much they want to get out and all this, and then they re-enlist, and they're saying there's really nothing that's necessarily tying them to this other than their own fear of getting out and like taking the next step.
And that's I think you just really good fucking point. Fear.
Yeah.
I think fear is a fucking huge factor in why guys re-enlist because it's one of those things. It's like you don't know what's out there, man.
Right.
You know, like, and guys come up with plans, right? And guys are like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and it's like, all right, man, but I have seen, you know, in the little over 4 years that I've been in the Army, I've seen a lot of people get out. I've seen none of them succeed in life. Not in, and I don't, that sounds really harsh, right? But what I'm saying is none of them got out and are in any better position than when they were in the Army. Which means you could only be struggling harder, right? I know, like, a lot of them went to school. It's like, all right, man, like, that's cool. Like, you went to college, like you're still there, but what's the plan, right? What's the next step? Some guys, you know, got out and they went and started working jobs, and now they're just working a regular fucking job. And it's like, you still gotta work, man. You know, there's no grand fucking answer for getting out of the Army or whatever. And I'm not trying to say the Army is the fucking answer, because it's not, right? It's not the answer for everybody. Some people can make it work and deal with the bullshit like me. Do I like the Army? Yeah, the Army's not bad. It's really break it down for the amount of work we really do. Not that fucking bad. Yeah,
it definitely has its pros and cons.
Yes, we do a lot of dumb shit. However, like, if you really break down, like, the benefits we get and the jobs, like,
our healthcare alone is worth quite a bit.
Our fucking healthcare is awesome, and like, especially for people with families. Like, my daughter has fucking full healthcare, you know. Yeah. But think about it.
For people in your position, the Army is awesome.
But even single dudes, right? Job security. You do not have to worry about getting fired on Monday.
Right.
At all.
And so
you are not going to go into work and get fired. It's not going to happen. Yeah. You never have to worry about that.
Unless you do something to put yourself in that position.
Obviously. Like, if you go and really fuck up, like, you go and do fucking cocaine and then piss hot. So yes, you're out of the Army.
Giving kind of the flip side to what you're saying is from someone who is single, no kids, like, I'm 21, I did this immediately after high school.
Yes.
I had other options. Even if I hadn't done this and didn't go to college, like, my parents aren't, like, rich by any means, but I mean, I will never be homeless. I don't have that to worry about.
But
No, I'm getting to a point here. So, for guys like me, the reason why I hate this job so much is not, like you're saying, like, it's really not that bad.
No.
Especially when you have the mentality of, like, what you have. Like, you have a reason to put up with this. Like, this puts food in your daughter's mouth.
Well, not only that, I know what I came from. I know what I don't want to go back
to.
Yeah. I have real life experience. It sucks.
And so, that being said, for someone like me, who I don't have, like, a necessary need to be here.
Yes.
And I also have, this isn't like me being cocky, I have every confidence that I will be perfectly fine in the civilian world. Like, I 100% believe, like, I'm not gonna end up on welfare or whatever. Like, I could be a firefighter and make perfectly fine middle class money. You know what I mean? Like, I will be okay.
Yeah.
And I look at all my options, and I, GI Bill, go to college and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't bad in school, like, all these different things. I'm just like, and I sit here post deployment with nothing really on the horizon and as far as that goes.
Nothing. It's pretty subtle right now.
Nothing realistic for me actually doing my job.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Like, we're technically not doing our job when we're here in America.
We're just training.
We're really not.
We're just training.
And that's part of the job, so you can really do it. And I get that. But if you don't deploy, it's almost like it was kind of a waste of learning things, especially in the infantry. Now, as a medic, it's a little bit different because you can transfer those skills into a different field.
I get college credits and stuff like that.
Exactly. But it's different when...
It'll only benefit you for law enforcement.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the only thing it'll benefit you for.
And so, if I say I don't deploy again, which could very well happen in the next 2 years, I don't deploy.
Yes.
It's almost like, to me, I'm like, well, these 2 years are kind of a huge waste of my time. And there's pros, like, like, I'm making money and I don't have a lot of bills and, like, benefits and stuff like that. But it's like, how much more do you want, like, that extra, a couple $1,000 versus those 2 years of dedicated time to school, which is what I would be doing if
Yes.
I got medically chaptered out right now or something. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so that's where my salt comes from. Is like I feel like I'm just wasting my time.
Not
You know what I
saying
mean?
that you like don't have a support system, but I think a support system for the civilian world is definitely a thing. Because like you're saying, like you said that you like might end up homeless or something like that. Like
Yes.
I know for me, and like Rob said, like my parents. Not saying that they should support me, but if it came down to that,
Yeah.
I could live with
I
them
wouldn't
if
have
I had
to
to
be
while I
Okay,
went
all right.
through
So,
college.
so let me specify then, because I was trying to make an example about like progression in life, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
My parents don't need to work.
yeah.
They're done. They're well off. Which means if I got out of the army tomorrow and I had no fucking place to go,
You
yes,
can live.
I can 100% move back with my parents, and
And
they
it
could-
would be
and they-
I don't want to
and
do
they could
that.
fucking
yeah,
support
I
me.
definitely agree.
Like you
Yeah.
want to, if you want to get just broad, right? Like looking
Yeah.
at like the worst fucking possible scenario, they can support me for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah.
I can be the laziest piece
Yeah,
of
like,
shit.
but we don't want that.
Yeah, no one
That's
wants
what I'm
that.
saying.
That's
we all
yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't want to move back to
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
neither
saying.
do I.
So
Yeah.
yes, I have a civilian support group. It's my
Yeah.
family. They could absolutely 100 times take care of me with my lifestyle.
We're all just talking
However-
about that safety net. Is I think
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
that's what- that's my
no,
point.
No,
It's like,
and there is, right?
Yeah.
There is. But my way that I look at it is, I know that right now, right, with yeah. I think there's a phone in the background or something. I know that with the cost of living, right?
Yeah.
The expenses, right? And I someone like me, like I live off post, right? So I have
Bills,
I have
yeah.
bills and shit, right? Which is I know all that. I know that like fucking being in the civilian world, dude, it's hard, man.
It's
Like a
not
lot of
easy.
shit. I feel like we take a lot for fucking granted.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, like
I
healthcare,
guarantee
right?
we do. Yeah.
Like healthcare, we don't pay for that.
No,
that
yeah.
shit's fucking expensive,
Oh, yeah.
man. So like that's one thing. Like think like I feel like with the civilian world, a lot of shit adds up, and like my thing is, I don't want to move backwards in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. I'm not saying that just because you get out of the military, and this is for any branch, right?
Yeah.
Like, granted, we're in the army,
just
so
the
we can-
military system.
but
yeah.
the military in general, right, is because every branch offers the same fucking security. In case anyone's fucking looking at
It's a
whatever.
lifestyle
Yeah.
thing.
It's a lifestyle, right? The Air Force is going to give you the same. I'm pretty sure it's TRICARE across the board. for
It's
military.
TRICARE for all military
So,
members.
It's like
Nicer rooms in the Air Force, though.
I'm pretty sure everything's nicer in the Air Force.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I'm saying? So you've got like, I'm not saying that it's like the end all be all and that you cannot get out of the army and be successful. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What my thing is, I would just always fear that the idea of getting out is because I know it's going to be harder than my life right now.
Yeah.
I 100% know that if I get out of the army, I'm not saying I'm going to fall on my ass. It's going to be fucking tough for the first few months. Yeah, you're going to be like probably living off fucking ramen noodles and shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's an entirely different lifestyle that you have to acclimate to. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just feel like a lot of guys who do it really don't have a good plan.
Yeah.
Because they get so fucking. And I have seen this happen with like old buddies of mine who've gotten out. They get so tunnel vision of just like,
Getting
fuck
out,
this
yeah.
shit. I'm not doing it anymore. I fucking can't wait to get out. And they get out, and then they had no real fucking plan other than I wanted to get out. And now they're just
Now what?
now you're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You're just not in the military, and it's like
The thing
You
that
know,
I
like-
think trips up a lot of dudes is they become used to the fact that like in the military, like you're gonna be fed and you're gonna have a place to stay.
Yes.
and like it will happen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it's,
Guaranteed.
Like without question, that
Yes.
you will be provided for in that sense.
a bed, food, job security, like guaranteed.
Yeah,
it's gonna fucking
so
happen.
a lot of dudes get used to that, and they, like you're saying, get so tunnel vision on just getting out because they hate it.
Yeah.
And then for a lot of dudes like me, like joined immediately. I graduated high school early to join this, so
Yeah.
I don't know life outside the military really. Outside the military, outside my parents' house, I don't. I haven't been there. It's just
a lot of people don't.
it's just the way things are. So I don't know that life.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of dudes become like this is essentially all I know of adult life is being in the military. And so I think
Which
a lot
you
of
are an adult. Even though you're in the
Yeah.
military, you're 100% a fucking adult.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying this is all I know. This is the adult
Yeah,
life I know.
yeah.
I don't know adult civilian life. Is what I
Yeah.
know.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That's
alright,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense.
And so they get, all guys like me know is parents, adult life in the military, and then it's all of a sudden adult life in the civilian world, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is just the thing.
Drastic
It's
difference.
Yeah.
different.
Crazy
It's
different.
completely different.
Yeah.
And so, not saying, and it's a lot of things are. It's all relative.
Sure.
Like there's more difficult things about this, more difficult things about that, like
Yeah.
vice versa. But the big thing here is that it's just different, and a lot of guys have trouble adjusting to that difference.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of guys aren't willing to sit down and recognize, like, okay, I'm gonna have to save. I'm gonna have to live cheap. I'm gonna have to figure out my next step in order
Yeah.
to. You're gonna have to build yourself back up. Like just say you go to college, say you're that guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go through that to then get the job, to
Yeah,
then
you
pay
get-
the bills, and then hopefully build a better life for yourself and
Yeah.
move forward like you're saying.
And you have to have plans for everything now. You know, like what you said. You know, like in the military, you don't have to worry about food or a fucking bed or job security, right? In the civilian world, you have to worry about all three of those things constantly.
Well-
you have to constantly fucking worry about those three
Yeah.
things.
You want
There's
to
a
talk
lot
about
of-
constantly worrying about those things? Do you?
Do you have something
What
to
do
say?
you have to-
Yeah.
I'm trying to get off this topic for like 20 minutes right now.
We're having
Anyway,
this is
Yeah, we're on a good topic.
Okay,
Bad
here.
topic.
All right, I got something we can transition
Fuck
to.
up.
You don't
So-
need to transition.
No, we're
just
yeah, we're totally on it. Yeah.
Okay, then. Anyways,
Shut the fuck up,
there's.
John. Terrible
I know for a
topic.
fact there's a lot of people that do live paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And that's a lifestyle you not necessarily should. I completely believe that you should not live paycheck to paycheck while in the military. But it's something you can do,
Yes.
and you're still going to be provided for.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's a really good.
Civilian world, you
Can't-
cannot do that. If you
cannot
live
do it.
paycheck to paycheck in the civilian world, and you just
You're gonna go nowhere.
yeah, like
Yeah. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
gonna
That was-
you're gonna be
You
have
wait
such a
till-
shitty life.
And that was my thing, right? I lived paycheck to paycheck while living at home.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
rough.
this sucks, dude. Like, it was nothing, man. Again, I'm not saying it's not possible. It fucking is. It is
Yeah.
100% possible for you, as you, right now, your experience in life, you can get out of the army, you will be fine.
Yeah.
Will you struggle? Yes. Will you take time to acclimate?
Yeah.
Yes. But will you make it work? More than likely, yes.
If you got a good head on your shoulders, you're gonna make it
Here's the
work.
thing, though,
unless
no
you have your priorities set in the completely wrong
No
place.
Yes.
no matter what path you take, anybody as an individual, like in life, this is just a rule. You're not going to get anywhere unless you put forth the effort.
Yep.
That's in the military. That's as a
Anything.
civilian. That's
No
in
one
the
will give it to
workforce.
you.
Well, that's
Yeah.
if you go to college. Call it. A lot of dudes, they're like, I'm just going to get out and go to college. College is going to be easy. I will never have to work. Are you kidding me? It's like, dude, college
have
is
to,
super
do
difficult.
schoolwork.
It's really.
It's a different kind of hard.
It's It's completely different.
The
but it's
army-
super difficult.
the army is physically hard. College is mentally
Yeah,
demanding.
it's academics.
It's gonna be. You're not gonna
And-
get anywhere unless you put forth effort.
Yeah.
Everything's a grind.
No, absolutely.
You know
And
what I'm
that's one thing. Like
That's what
which-
a lot of guys don't realize.
Yeah, and that's like one thing that like you were talking about. Like you feel like your time in the military like really gave you nothing. Like you feel like you didn't really get anything out of it.
I don't think
I
I've
would
got-
disagree with that.
I'm not. I'm not.
I would
no,
too.
I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't, that's maybe I didn't communicate well. It's not how I feel at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if I didn't convey it properly, let me
You didn't do what you
let me
joined to do?
rephrase it. No, that's not what I mean. I'm saying from this point on,
Uh huh.
for the most part, with a few very like specific exceptions,
Yeah.
I've done everything I set out to do,
Okay.
and I don't think that I'm going to get much more out of these next 2 years or however long it ends up being with time off and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
I don't think I have a whole lot more to gain other than a couple of years of that safety net and that time to build up savings.
Yeah.
Which is valuable,
Sure.
but the thing that really like annoys me in my own headspace is, would it be more valuable for me to have those 2 years to dedicate to like school, or I feel like I'm wasting my time. I feel like I'm wasting not so much my time, more my energy. Like I feel like my energy going towards the things at work
Yeah.
is because this isn't going to be my career.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
I know that.
You're basically restarting once you enter the civilian world
A
in a way.
lot.
You do. I will say you do have a head start, but at the same time, it feels like you're restarting.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because of the fact that everyone else, like my sister, she graduates this year. She's already going to have a year into college.
Okay.
So I'm going to be getting into college. She'll be a sophomore. She's 2.5 years younger than me.
Okay.
She'll be a sophomore in college, and I'll be a freshman.
Yeah.
Now she'll have debt, and I won't.
Yes.
And I will come out of college with most likely none if I do it the way I plan on doing it.
Yeah.
Unless you do something
that
stupid,
puts you
yeah.
right there though. That right there, coming out of college, if you can come out of college with no debt, that puts you miles ahead of everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Miles. I don't
you're
care how much
military,
time you spent in the
Yeah.
military.
Yeah.
That 4 years that you spent in the military,
Yeah.
that they're going to be paying that, depending on their degree, they'll be paying for that shit for the rest of their lives.
The other thing you have to keep in mind too, and like this is a lot, I have to tell myself this constantly, is like there's not a set pace for where you need to be in life.
No, it's all on
There's
you.
not.
Everyone is,
it bothers me because I'm at like all my peers, like age wise, like from back home, they're all in college.
Okay.
And so to me, like mentally, and I know it's not this way because I took a different path.
Yes.
They're in my headspace, like they're ahead of me. And I feel that way, but it's like I have to remind myself, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still, in 10 years, still gonna have a degree. I'm still, I won't have debt, like you're saying. Like that's a big thing.
Very valuable.
And I don't see it now, but it'll pay off later.
Yeah.
And so like I have to, take those steps and like make those affirmations, those positive like statements, like, hey, it's
You're
you're
good.
This isn't a waste, and I know that. When I say I feel like I'm wasting my time, I don't think wasting time is the best way to say it.
Potential, maybe.
I think wasting
Yeah.
energy.
No, so that makes more sense.
I feel like that's a better way to say it.
Because I was going to say, like, regardless of... And I feel that if you... Especially, like, doing it young, right? Like, you joined young, right? Like, so you joined right out of high school. And I feel like I'm a big believer that you should, like, everyone should have to do at least one fucking term. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
I'm one of those
I
fucking
100%
believers.
agree.
You graduate high school, you do a term in the fucking military.
I think
Any branch you want.
I think it'd be really good for a lot of
It doesn't
people.
have to be. I don't care what your job is. I don't care what branch you go to.
I think it
you
would be
can.
shit for the military, but it would be good for a lot of people.
Here's the thing, though. It probably wouldn't, because you got to think. You're not getting. It's mandatory, right? In this world, you get out of high school, you have to do a term in the military. Let's say it's just 2 years, right? The government implements. You have to give the military 2 years. You're not getting everyone going like, well, I want to be in the infantry. No, you'll have those guys just go, look, man, I'm just going to go cook on a ship in the Navy for 2 years. And like, there you go. Like, you're okay. But what I feel like you can definitely take away from it, right? Which is one thing that's going to separate you, apart from other things, obviously, but one thing that's really going to separate you getting out and going to the civilian world from, some kid who just graduated high school is your mental capacity, right? Like, mentally, you are incredibly more like strength, tough than someone else, because you've done all of the dumb shit we've done in the, you get to the point where you just go in the civilian world and you're like, it's really not that fucking bad. Like, you just make it work. You got that, it's like a drive thing, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the military can really give that to you. It can really show you,
if you take it. A lot of guys don't take it.
If you put forth the effort. The military will not just give you that, right? They won't just give you this, hey man, just come fucking hang out with us for 2 years, and like, when you leave, man, you'll be super like mentally resilient. No, you fucking won't.
It doesn't just
I hate to say this, but because we act so immature in the military a lot of times, but when it comes down to it, I think most people in the military, when they have to be, are a far more mature and developed developmentally than a lot of college kids.
No, I agree. And especially even our particular group, right? Because if you saw us in any fucking environment, you'd be like, wow, this is...
What a bunch of children.
Yeah. What a bunch of fucking kids.
Yeah.
This is who is supposed to go protect me.
Yeah. But when it comes down to...
Look at our track record through Iraq.
Yeah.
Look at our deployment to Iraq. It's like everyone flips a switch and it's like... Yo, shit's real, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, like, you even, young guys, older guys, everyone is like on the same page, like...
Everybody flips that switch. When you hear...
Crazy.
On the ARF, when you heard that magic phrase, hey, get your shit on, it was all business.
Yeah, it was 100%, like, it didn't matter what was going on, it didn't matter how much college you had or you didn't have, or if you graduated high school, if you had your fucking GED, it didn't matter. As soon as they were like, hey, we're going to do our job, it was all you thought about. So yes,
for you guys it was the get your kid on and stuff. For us, it was like the moment we walked into the tent where we were treating actual Iraqi casualties. It was like,
hey, this guy's really dying.
Stop joking around. This dude's like blown the fuck up.
100 real quick.
And the best part about it was too is what I noticed was that no one yelled. It was such a calm environment.
Yep.
And it's funny because during all of our training, there's so much screaming.
So much.
Dude, you come down.
So
you
much
come down to like an actual moment on an actual casualty, or even for you guys, like shit is like surprisingly calm.
No, it's crazy.
It's like a calm chaos.
It's because there's actual chaos, so we don't have to simulate that chaos with yelling and
hey, do this,
smoke.
and then you do it. There's no question.
Absolutely, and it's
clear.
small things, man. It's like as simple as like one of the first days we took contact was like just over the headset. You're just like, yeah, hey man, there's like some fucking small arms fire over there, and it's like, all right.
It's like, why would you freak out? Like, just
Yeah, it's
there's no
literally just,
reason
hey,
to.
keep an eye on it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
communicate and be
like
cool.
fucking, you know, like yeah, you get pumped up. Like, you know, I remember
Yeah.
like I was on a gun one day, dude, and like fucking CTS came like whipping by, like firing 50s down this alleyway, and I was like, fuck yeah, you like racked a 50, and I was like,
ready
fuck
to go.
yeah, fired up, and I'm not like, what's going on? What the fuck? I was just like racked it. I was like, yo, Black, I'm ready to fucking like I'm ready to
go,
roll.
yeah.
Let's fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? It is a mental resilience that if you put forth. If you let your mind do that, if you train
you have,
your mind,
you have to take
yes,
it. You have to make the choice to have it.
put forth just that little bit, dude, you mentally will come out of this shit crazy fucking strong.
That actually brings me to something. So I don't remember where I heard this from. I think it was like a YouTube video or something I was watching. But he was talking about the Japanese and in their culture. There's 3 different personalities. It's the one that your friends see, your family sees, and your actual self
masks.
that you know.
Okay.
And so I find that kind of interesting talking about this, like maturity-wise, because
wild.
there's like different, because I agree with that completely. Like, I'm different around my family, like, not extremely different.
You're not a whole different person.
But more collected, because I'm like, okay, like, my family expects me to be, more mature. I'm like, I'm not going to make the same jokes that I make around my friends.
Sure.
I'm not going to joke about dicks around my family. Like, my family doesn't find that funny.
Yo, mom, trannies.
Hey, mom, my friend fucked a tranny in Thailand. Like, she's concerned when she hears that.
Yeah,
My buddies
it's
think
not-
it's hilarious.
yeah, we
my mom and
laugh.
dad are like, that's strange.
We might get on the
Like,
talk.
Yeah. But then also, like, your personal self, which is, like, the real you. Like,
Yes.
who you know yourself and who you are.
More than anyone else will ever.
Which is interesting, because I think the whole maturity thing really plays into that. It's like when you need to be mature, it's a slightly different version of you. Not completely different.
Yes.
But it's a slightly different version.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things, you know when you have to do what you need to.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, you know when you need to act sober when you're drunk, when the cops.
Oh yeah, when you're underage pulling through the Fort Bragg gate,
Yeah.
and you're like, I need to collect
act
myself.
sober. I need to act sober real
Yeah.
fast.
I tell you.
Are we all getting blown up right now?
Yeah, am I getting blown the fuck up?
Yeah, Miles,
All of our phones are going
care.
off. Fuck Miles.
Miles called me and I just declined.
Yeah. Miles is calling us. Fuck Miles. We're not answering.
Shit, friend.
So, but
He sucks.
one thing about like the quote, I know the quote you're talking about. It's like the 3 masks that you
Yes.
wear. In regards to like the whole like the self that you are, like say around your group of friends here.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I deal with a lot that really like screws up like my relationship, not screws it up, it's just like something that stresses like
It makes it harder.
relationships with my civilian friends, relationships with my family and whatnot. Because of how much time you spend wearing that mask, for instance, the mask you wear like with the guys you're around all the time, because it's so different from anything else.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard in certain
situations.
Yeah, certain situations to interact with the people from the other areas of your life.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Totally. I 100% agree.
Dude,
Yes.
When I interact with civilians, especially the ones that might not know me that well, like my close friends from back home, we do fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they know me.
They think it's hilarious.
Yeah, like we do fine.
Yeah.
But when I interact with, like, say I meet like a friend of a friend, it's just I have a hard time relating to them.
Yeah.
I'm like we have nothing in common.
And that's another thing, man. That's another. I think that, and I'm not trying to stay on the topic, and we don't have. We're definitely continuing moving forward, but that's it goes back to that fear, right?
yeah, that too.
Guys get it happens in prison, right? Guys get institutionalized.
Yep.
You know, where they don't want to rejoin.
It definitely happens in the army for
It
sure.
happens in the military, where you just and like I think we all experienced it after Iraq for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Because you went 9 months over an entire
so
year.
enclosed in this little world.
In such a tight little fucking community, and then you get back and they let us go. Like you got leave for a month, and they're like, go rejoin the world.
Yeah.
And like I know for me, like me personally, I just was like disconnected from everybody.
Yeah.
Not and not in like a fucked up PTSD kind of.
No,
It's just in a total
social
integrating into
in a
like
total
regular life.
social way. It was just like I'm looking at people and I'm like, man, like dude, I honestly have nothing in common with you at all, and it makes it uncomfortable.
How about the first when we literally right when we get off the plane, I they release us or whatever, and I go to meet my parents, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, hi.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was just like,
it's weird.
I was tired from. Granted, I was like tired from the flight. It was hot.
Yeah,
I just
long
wanted to
trip.
leave.
Yeah.
But I was just like, But I'm sitting there, my parent, normally you would think like, oh, it's like this super happy reunion. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm honestly kind of like, I just felt like pissed.
Yeah,
Not
it's-
even
it's-
at them or
it's
anything. I was-
weird, man.
And it's just like, and then they feel like you're mad at them for something.
They don't understand
and
it,
it's just
yeah.
like,
I don't know about you
I
guys.
don't even know like how to act.
I felt like there was almost like no filter, kind of like not necessarily like a verbal filter.
I didn't have one.
But
Yeah.
as far as like the thing, so I made a video for my family because they wanted to see what I did over there. So I had tons of
That's
photos
pretty cool.
from like trauma and stuff like that, and like when I sat in on a
You still
surgery.
have it?
Yeah, I have it on my phone actually. I can show it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had this like really cool like 15-minute video that like showed everywhere I went in Iraq, like all the stuff I did, all the casualties I treated.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna show this to my family, and like everyone that I was there with had seen that stuff. And
Yeah.
like there was some like dudes that were completely missing like all their limbs,
Yeah,
like
they
some
were
real
fucked up.
fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like and me not thinking about it, like I was like, oh, this is like
To you,
at the
it's-
time it's normal.
it
now.
was literally
I was just
every
like,
day.
oh, this
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
I did this for 2 weeks, just treating guys that were fucked up, you
Yeah.
know. And so like for me, I was like, whatever, this isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But then I go home and like as I'm showing him the video, I realized I was like my mom's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have added all of this in there. And like, I didn't think anything of it. Like, honestly, it was like completely an innocent mistake of just like,
Yeah, but it was
Okay.
normal to you.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so I think like that definitely happens for everyone. And
Yeah,
that's like,
absolutely.
it's something that you have to like kind of step back and realize, okay, they're not going to necessarily understand.
Well, and
this.
so like I've got actually like a really good, really fucking fits in example for that. Because I agree with you, right? It's like it's hard for people to grasp that. For instance, like you were seeing like body parts and shit,
Yeah.
fucking dead dudes. Like when we the first time, granted, like taking contact or treating casualties, two different things.
Yeah.
But like like when we saw like the CivCAD site, it's like this just
Yeah.
building just blown the fuck away.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, oh wow, it's crazy. It's like a building blown up, and then
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
you don't really think much of it. You just
don't-
go like whatever.
you don't think much of it, and then even knowing what it was, even when they tell you like, yeah, dude, like 100+ civilians like just died in that building, and you're like, oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
We're going over
What a
here now.
shitty day.
Yeah, we're going over here, and then you go home and you tell people that story, and you watch their faces. And
yeah,
they're
they're
like,
just like,
because
wow,
they
this is
realize there's
terrible.
like kids and shit.
I remember-
but
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm almost done. Getting to that point though, of like being disconnected, right?
Yeah.
So when we were on leave, like this is right after Iraq and everything. I was at this big like public event and everything. I was hanging out, and I ran into an old buddy of mine
Yeah.
from way back in the day, who's in the reserves. He's in the army, and he deployed the year before we did.
Yeah.
So him and I started talking, and immediately clicked. And it was
Yeah.
it was like one thing I think where. I think like the thing that started it off, dude, because I was feeling disconnected from everybody. I was like, man, like
Yeah.
I want to be able to talk about what I've things that I did that like are fun, right? I want to be like, man, remember that one time like we did this shit where civilians would go, oh my god, like were you okay? It's like yeah, it was the best day of my
It was
life.
fun.
So like I think for him it was like we were walking and joking, and I was like, oh yeah, Fiki, and he
Yeah.
totally got it.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, dude, shocking Maki. And I lost my mind. I was like,
Hit him with the switch.
hit him with the
dog.
switch, dude. And I was like,
They'll go nuts.
he immediately got it, and I was like, it really just showed me. It was
Yeah.
like, here's someone who did the same thing, right? They deployed. Now he's back in the civilian world, and then as soon as I showed up, it was like him and I were the closest people in that entire fucking event.
Yeah.
Because him and I were. It was that thing where you related in a really uncomfortable situation. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, the worst is like, so like say you tell a story to someone.
Yeah.
And like for whatever reason, it's just how it comes up in conversation to someone who's like a civilian.
Sure.
Like I had a conversation with a friend one time, and I was telling them, oh yeah, we used to have to tell like the kids to get lost whenever they were like asking for water.
Food
or
and
something.
water
It's
and
like
shit.
get out of here.
Like,
And
fuck off.
And they were just like.
Inshallah.
Yeah, like kids fucking beating the shit out of each
They're
other
like,
for a bottle of
They
water.
were just like, oh, that's so sad, and like they like pity and like get like,
Yeah.
You're like,
they don't
nah,
understand-
fuck those
and
kids.
you're just like, you know what else is sad? The fact that like his whole city is on fire.
Yeah,
basically. Like you just have to deal with that. Like this is happening.
Yeah, it's this.
And-
He's so young. He literally grew up in the war.
And what annoys me is when people say like, oh, don't talk about that. That's sad, and they're like, oh, don't talk about it. And it's just like, I guess I won't talk
Dude,
about
it's-
this thing that takes up all of
Why
my
would-
life.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like,
another thing I don't
and that's why I
understand.
can't relate to anybody.
When
'cause
people
then-
say don't talk about it, it's like, dude, this is like a very real thing that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be talked
Yeah,
about. Like
you
people need to talk about
You need
it.
to understand it, right?
Yeah.
Stop.
Like-
Wait, hold on. Internal temp.
So camera blew up,
Yep. We went and bought a new one.
and
Now we're back in the
We're
same episode. Same episode, same day. Camera blew up. We went and bought a new one.
So
True.
you were about to say something
Yeah.
right before.
So
this.
what I was about to say was people don't want to talk like you were saying. People don't want to hear about like all the terrible things that go on over there. But I
Yes.
think it's something that people need to hear because
They don't
people
know.
try and ignore it because they're so set in their ways here in the U.S. and they're like, wow, it's so great over here. But like my dad, I was talking to him and he was like, you know, like even though we say that there's bad things going on in the U.S. like politics wise, there's I still don't think that there's a place that's better.
No, there's
Like
not.
there's no place that you have
Yeah,
as many
there's not.
freedoms.
Yeah.
And I think that's something when I went to Iraq that it really opened my eyes.
It
to.
shows you how good you have it.
Yeah, I knew it was shit over there, but man, going over there, you're
Yeah.
like, man, it's shit over here.
Well, and that's a really good fucking point too, because a lot of people, man, everyone, like you said, politics wise, like all these shootings that are going, like that's awful. I'm
Yeah.
not, believe me, dude.
no one's for school shootings.
And like
no
like,
one's saying
absolute
that.
like deepest condolences to all of those families, dude.
Absolutely terrible tragedy.
Anyone who's lost, that's awful. But what I'm telling you is, you need to just try to remember, man, that like yes, it looks bad sometimes, right? Like things look dark, right?
Yep.
Like maybe you don't agree with how your government is, right? You don't agree with who your president might be, or there's all these shootings going on. That's fine. I'm not saying it's fine, but I'm saying like that's life, right? That's gonna happen. However, we still have it so much fucking better than that fucking 8-year-old who's sitting on a street corner in Missoula who's begging you for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yep.
who's his fucking
Absolutely.
his whole family could probably be fucking dead for all you know.
Yeah.
They could have been blown up last week.
Oh yeah.
Like,
There's a big difference between like hearing something
and seeing it.
or realizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you see what I'm
sure.
saying? Like,
No.
you can hear about how crappy like third world countries are, but then when you go there and you're like,
Holy shit.
like you can hear, hey, they don't have water, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, that sucks. But then you're like, you get there and
You
you're like,
see
they don't have
you're,
fucking
you're,
water.
You're like, wait a minute, they
Yeah.
don't have water.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, they
And-
can't
yeah.
drink the water that
when
they
you-
have too.
And you realize it,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, this is it's a whole new level.
I think people might they might hear us talking about like all these kids and stuff like that, and they may be like, "Man, this guy doesn't really seem like he felt that one." Man, when I first got there and I saw the first kids sleeping in a building, a garage building,
Yeah, that's
that
his
was
house.
fucking blown up and
Yeah.
had blankets as walls.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, on the inside, I was like I felt terrible for that child, and I was
Yeah.
like, that is such a shitty place to grow up in, just a really crappy environment.
awful.
But he
It's-
does, and it's the worst part about it is he doesn't know any different.
Exactly. And
That's
you
the
know-
horrible thing, and he's totally fine with it
Yep, and
because
that
he
was the
doesn't
thing.
realize.
it's all relative.
That's
Exactly.
the thing. I was just gonna say that exact thing. That's the thing. Like you see that and you think like, oh well, like his life must really suck. But you people are like, well, you don't feel bad for them, and that's where
Wrong.
us. And again, are we of a different mindset than civilians? 100%, especially But you understand that. That's all he's ever known.
Yep.
He was literally. These kids we're talking about are young, which
Yeah.
means this fighting has been going on their entire life.
Yep.
So they grew up in that. That's all they know. So it's like, does that make it any better? No. But that doesn't mean it makes it better to where if that kid was living in fucking New York and he had a great life and he went to school and he had all these
Yeah.
freedoms and then someone took him and fucking put him in Missoula.
Yeah.
It's like, now this is your life.
Yeah.
That would be so much worse than
It's because he knows better.
yeah, but then the kid who just grew up and he goes,
there.
this is my life.
Yeah.
This is my life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just tough, man. But I agree. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
does. I think talking about it definitely is good. It
you
educates people.
shouldn't not talk about it.
Yeah,
I agree.
exactly. It needs
Yeah.
to be talked about. But going into that, so politics-wise,
Yeah.
a big thing nowadays is a lot of kids in college and our age and stuff, and how you were talking about struggling
Yeah.
in the civilian world. A lot of kids, because of that, and they have a mindset that socialism is such a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I want to bring up. And to start out with that conversation, I think a really important thing is defining what socialism is.
Okay.
So I literally just brought it up on my phone.
Awesome.
Breakdown of it is basically the government takes goods or money, for example, and they spread it out throughout to everyone that is in need of it.
Yes.
So everyone's kind of on an equal ground.
Yep.
Now it's not necessarily communism,
No.
but it's in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's a
redistribution of wealth.
redistribution of wealth and specifically common goods.
Yes.
Or public goods, sorry.
Sure.
Public goods.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, I saw a topic that was talking about, is socialism evil?
Okay.
And it was actually on, shout out Larry Carter, great episode.
great
He
show.
talks about, it's
Yeah.
literally one of his what is it, like the Convince Me or whatever, the Change My Minds.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
yeah. Great
And
show.
is socialism evil? It's just one of the Change My Minds. So
Okay.
I sat down watching that, and he brings up a lot of really good points. And the main premise of it is that socialism is theft. And
Okay.
it doesn't matter morally if that theft is
Just?
morally, not necessarily, it's not even morally just, because theft is theft.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what like what your reasoning behind it is, theft is still wrong. It's still evil.
Take
at
from the
the
rich,
core.
give to the poor. It's still
So
theft.
Robin Hood, for example, a lot of people bring up the fact that he's stealing from the rich and giving to the good,
He's still
or to the
stealing.
poor. Yeah, it's still theft. It doesn't matter. Those rich, just because they're rich doesn't mean that they're evil. They worked for that money. You look at a lot of people that are rich nowadays. They didn't necessarily weren't born into wealth. There's a lot of people that started out in really shitty places
Yeah.
and earned their way and worked their way
Yeah.
to being wealthy.
Absolutely.
And I completely think it's
Yes.
wrong to go in and then be like, oh yeah, but now we're going to take your money and we're going to give it to a college kid because he's kind of sucking a little bit.
Yeah.
When the
I don't know what you guys think. Do you think so? If a homeless dude, let's say, has a family, right, and he's doing stick ups and stealing money from someone so that he can provide food for his family, is that still morally wrong?
So I think that
That's a good one.
I think
that's
that
good.
a lot of things sound really good on paper, but don't any rule you make, and this is like very like layman's like way to look at it.
Yeah.
Any rule you make is not always going to work out perfectly for every possible scenario.
Absolutely.
No, not at all.
And that's like I'm much more in favor of capitalism than I am socialism.
Yeah.
But a lot of times like capitalism can fuck people over.
Yeah.
Like a lot of bad things can happen.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is. Anytime you pick a rule set, there's gonna be pros and cons to that rule set.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think that any form of redistribution of wealth purely because we want everything to be equal is actually gonna work.
But would you agree that it's theft? The government, because let's say this, the government's saying so. Taxes, for example. What happens if you don't pay your taxes?
It's tax evasion. It's
Yeah,
a crime.
tax evasion.
It's a crime, right?
Yeah.
You can go to prison. You can do prison time for it. A lot.
Al Capone, shout out. OG gangster.
So
Wesley Snipes.
So theft is the same thing.
Hold
Like
it
there's
down, Alcatraz.
consequences.
Yes.
Like you don't have a choice. So that's theft. Socialism is that way. You don't have a choice. The government is saying we're going to take this from you and redistribute it
Yes.
to the populace.
Okay.
That's theft.
Yes, absolutely.
I personally think that's evil. It's morally evil.
Well, here's the thing.
That's
It's
wrong.
only theft if you believe in private property. Socialism, there is no private property.
Okay.
Also,
But-
which I think most people disagree with, because if I work my ass off and
Yeah.
I own something, I bought a gumball from a gumball machine, and I worked my ass off for that
Exactly.
quarter. I own that fucking gumball
Yep.
because I worked for it. I used my money and I fucking paid for it. Now I own that. That's my fucking property.
Yep.
I think that it all like the whole idea behind any sort of socialism or like communism, like the inception of these ideas, I honestly believe like comes from the desire to do good.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Greater
Yeah.
good.
I
The
think-
inception.
Yes.
And but I don't.
I'm gonna build dramatic music later.
I think it like people who are all about these ideas, like especially
Yeah.
nowadays, are these like bleeding heart, compassionate liberal types who I truly believe like it comes out of a place of compassion for people
Completely.
who might come from a bad circumstance. I really do think it comes from a good place, but
Yes.
then once it actually gets put into practice,
It's implemented.
it gets
Yeah.
it gets screwed up.
Well, and I made that I not made, but I said that quote, and I can't remember who said it, but there's someone made a quote about socialism, and it's that socialism is a great idea until you run out of other people's money, and that is
Yep.
that is what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
Yes, like you can say it's going to be great, it's good, but what happens when you take till there's nothing to take
I
left?
think it's
You know what I'm
I think
saying?
it's a great idea, but for the way the real world is, I don't think it.
I don't
It's a
think-
great thing to be like smoke weed with your buddies and be like, man, wouldn't it be great if we could all just share the wealth, man?
Yeah.
But then when it gets to the real world and the real world doesn't give a fuck about
Not only
you,
that, it's whose wealth are we sharing?
Oh, yeah. I-
100%.
I
Because
don't-
guess
I
what?
don't
It's not
think it's a good idea.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not the dude, the homeless guy on the side of the street that has $5 to his name that's getting his wealth passed around.
No.
It's the dudes that are making millions a year.
Yeah.
That the government's coming in and being like, hey, look, man, there's this dude over here. He's really sucking. Like, yeah, that's that's terrible. I feel really, really sorry for him.
Yep.
But you're completely taking away. Another good point is by forcing someone to give money to another person, you're completely taking away incentive to donate.
Yes.
And I think that's a big thing. So donations to charities and
Well, that's where
such that
philanthropy
help
comes
those
in.
people.
Yeah.
People are willing to do that if they're not forced to do it. When
Yes.
someone's forced to do something, it makes them hate it.
Because you don't want to.
Exactly.
And I agree. And that's
No one wants to be told they have to give their money to someone,
Yeah.
but they're willing to if it's their choice because it makes them feel good. Not saying that it's you know,
it's philanthropy.
it honestly makes you feel good about yourself
Yes.
when you're like, I'm giving something that I earned, I'm giving to someone else less.
Now, is
fortunate.
that selfish? Yes. But
Completely.
But it's, again, greater good.
Being selfish isn't always bad though.
Fuck no.
I don't know if you guys have read
Unless you don't
Atlas
see
Shrugged.
miles, then it sucks.
If you've read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, she
Haven't.
talks about being selfish a lot in that book. Great book. But yeah, she talks about being selfish and how nowadays we talk about how, you know, when you call someone selfish, it's like a really negative thing.
Yes.
But being selfish isn't a bad thing.
No.
100%, because you can't get anywhere in life if you don't put yourself first.
Yeah, no one's going to give it to you, man.
Yeah.
Anything.
You have to put yourself first
That's
in some situations. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing.
This wouldn't really work out like on a mass level because anytime you add like numbers to things, everything gets screwed up.
Yes.
So like individually, I think it would be really cool to decide where my individual tax money goes.
Oh, 100%. We were just talking about that with the
like just
military.
like purely on an individual level, I would really like that for me.
You get like a form and you can say, hey, where your tax is going to go this
It's
year.
like,
Yeah.
like say,
Yeah.
say I pay $2,000 in taxes or whatever.
Whatever,
And
yeah,
I'm just
whatever
like,
you pay.
okay, they're like, okay, well, this is the amount of money you have to give to the government. You have to prove that you gave it. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to give it to something to fix the roads in my hometown or whatever.
Or
you know what I mean?
the school system in my
Like,
community or whatever.
And it wouldn't work out.
No.
But like
That would be great though. In a perfect world,
in a
that'd be
perfect
awesome.
world, it would
To
be
be able to
awesome, but
decide.
it wouldn't work.
You know
but
what?
yeah.
You know what it comes down to? Well, obviously not one thing. You can't pinpoint, but the thing with like you said, these college kids who think socialism is a great idea and all
Yeah.
that. Me personally, no, I do not think it's a good idea, and I don't think it would work. And the reason why I don't think it would work is this: America has been trying to install democracy across the world for the past 100 years. It hasn't worked once.
Nope.
You know why? Because those countries who have never had it have been used to the way that they've been running, right? Whether it's a fucking communist oligarchy or it's a dictatorship, that's what that country. They're a country, right? They've been fucking doing it for however long they've been around for. It may not be the way you want it to
whether
work,
it's
but
good, whether it's good or bad.
it works for fucking them, right?
Humans are creatures of habit. It's
Democracy
completely true,
has
no
worked
matter
for
if
us
it's a
because we've
shitty
been doing
situation
it
or
since
not.
our fucking creation, right? We've been doing, that's the way our country, capitalism and democracy, that's the way we've been doing it. Socialism would fail.
Yep.
I believe any other type that you try to change, it would fucking fail. Because in the same way that we've tried to, help countries be like, hey, democracy's fucking great, you guys should try it. And they go, fuck you, dude. We've been doing communism for the past 100 fucking years, and you know what? We're fine. Our country's still. Are we as financially successful as you? Are we as technology? No, and that's the way of the fucking world.
I will
But-
say the difference with socialism though is there's not one country that's ever had socialism instilled that's actually worked. Not one.
Yeah.
There's not a single country that anyone can name. I don't care what. And it's
Well, has anyone really done super well under communism either? Like as far as like
no,
quality
not
of life
super
for
well,
everyone?
but it's lasted.
But it's worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lasted. Not,
Yeah.
it's not. So I'm not saying that it's gonna work well. I'm just saying that socialism's never worked.
Yeah,
at
so-
all. not even for a long period of time.
So
Yeah.
I would say that communism like runs the machine, but I think the cogs are getting banged around a lot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
The actual-
But
actual,
it's
like,
lasted.
Yeah, but the
It's
machine's
lasted.
still gonna fucking
Yeah,
run.
the machine's still running.
Yeah.
Just not well.
But
It may be beat up.
That
It's like
AK
a
is still
real-
shooting, but it's
yeah.
rattling around.
Yeah,
a
it's
whole
shaking.
lot.
It's shaking and baking. But you know
It's
what?
like
It's still shooting.
a 1998 Toyota Corolla is real fucking beat.
I mean, like, it might have lasted, but why has it lasted? Like, it's because the government keeps it there. Like, the government is
Yeah.
a totalitarian
Yeah.
regime.
Sure.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
you look
I
at
agree,
history,
yeah.
every single communist, socialism, whatever, like, what's the P word? Or,
Parliament.
no, maybe it's not a P word. I don't know, but it,
No clue where you're going with this, but alright.
it just doesn't work. And, like, it works, it lasts, but it's because the government is like a regime, and it's
Just
like,
keep pounding
we're gonna
it.
fucking kill you
Yeah.
if you don't follow this shit.
Sure, and yes, like, does that happen? Absolutely. Like that, like, in certain like super far one direction countries who it's like
Fascist. Sort of.
fascism.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think anyone even uses fascism anymore.
No.
I'm pretty sure that
Not
died
that I'm
off.
tracking.
Yeah, I think fascism died off a long time
Yeah.
ago. But it is, man. It's it's the thing of, like you said, first of all, it hasn't worked historically for any extended period of time, right? It doesn't work. Does communism work? Yes. But does that mean it's great? No.
Yeah.
Right? Is democracy great? Is it perfect? Fuck no.
No.
Nothing is perfect. And there's no system that's ever going to be perfect. But you know what? It works. It works that's the thing. It works for us. Just because democracy works for us
doesn't mean work for others.
Doesn't mean that democracy is going to work over in fucking Sudan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
Sudan might have democracy for all I know, and I can you see the point I'm getting at. Just because it works for us or it works for these people doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody.
I just think that whenever you have 300 billion people, or 300 million people, nothing's gonna really work perfectly.
And no one, you're never gonna please everybody. It's impossible.
It's just too many people.
I also think that comes down to everyone has like different ideas on how we should address things, especially like gun rights is really popping and popping right now. And I know you guys have covered it, but
it's super relevant.
The two like spectrums is you have one side that basically like these are far apart,
very broad,
but. One side's like, get rid of assault rifles, which apparently to them is, AR-15s, just rifles at this point. Anything that looks mean, if it's black and fires rounds, it's an assault rifle. Machine. And then you have another side that's like, Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Now, both sides, I've noticed that the far left that keeps on saying, you guys, you're just, you don't care about the kids that are getting shot. That's not true at all. We just have a different way of approaching an issue, and this is how we think we should handle it.
Yeah.
And we're trying to come at it from a standpoint that's like, okay, we have a right that's
Constitution
literally laid out on paper.
It's been working for hundreds of fucking years.
Exactly. Now we think that we should handle it this way. Then you have the left that's saying we should handle it this way. Both of us want the same exact thing.
Yes.
No one wants school shootings.
Everyone wants school shootings to stop.
No one wants that.
No.
If in a perfect world, if we could completely stop it somehow, I'm sure everyone would be for that.
100%.
World's not perfect. No matter what you do, there's still going to be school shootings.
Absolutely.
And that's an absolutely terrible thing.
No, it is.
Just absolutely terrible. But I think honestly that right there, I don't think it comes down to the gun issue.
It's not.
It's a mental health thing.
100%. Not even necessarily mental health. It's a cultural thing. Honestly.
Yeah. It's a mental
because I think mental health, that whole thing with these guys have mental health issues. I call such bullshit on that.
What does that mean?
I think What's
up?
What
does it even mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I call bullshit. It's not mental health. It's the way these kids were raised. You look at the kind of situations these kids were put into, and you're like, yeah, no wonder that kid, ended up the way he is. Like, he had a fucked up upbringing.
Yeah. And now, does that mean it's an excuse? No.
Not at all. 100%
here's the
no.
thing. There is no excuse for fucking kids
There's
shot.
tons of people that have had really shitty upbringings and have turned out great.
Jay-Z.
Exactly.
Just saying hard knock life, bro.
I'm just saying that it's a cultural thing because for some reason you look at another thing that people bring up a lot is divorce rates. There's in the 90s, man, so many marriages failed.
Yeah.
Your parents, my parents.
Yes. Yeah.
Like so many kids, I don't know what it is. The divorce rate was so high.
Yeah.
And you look at that and you look at these kids that had shitty upbringings and they're a little worse, like on average. They're a little worse than the guys that had two parents in the household constantly.
Yeah.
And that's like statistic. You can look that up. There's hard evidence.
Yeah, there's numbers
for that.
to back it up.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you can deny that all you want, but again, there's hard numbers and facts that support that.
I agree.
I think it's 100% a cultural thing, and people are finding it easy to blame it on mental health.
They need a scapegoat.
But it's such bullshit.
When I say mental health, I don't necessarily mean all these guys are schizophrenic. That's not what I'm saying. What I mean is when I say mental health, I mean it in a very broad sense.
Yeah.
Like
they want to hurt people.
They're mentally weak, is I think what it is.
There's that. There's a lot of these dudes are all on these prescription over-the-counter drugs. Almost.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
There's a Netflix documentary that goes over Adderall. They hand that shit out like fucking candy.
I used to be on it.
It's so bad for people too.
Yeah.
Like it's just not a good thing to be on. And a lot of people I think are like, oh, my kid's hyper. Yeah, a lot of kids are fucking hyper. I'm not saying that there aren't kids out there that are
that was why I got
that should be on it. There are kids out there that should be on it.
Yeah,
but the problem is doctors were just handing that shit out like candy to kids, man.
Here you go.
Yeah. It's like, oh, your kid's hyper. Here's some Adderall. This will calm him down.
Yeah. Realistically, I feel like a lot of like people who get put on different prescription drugs, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it could just be mitigated by looking at your diet and getting more exercise. I'm not saying everybody needs to be going out there and just doing like Olympic lifts all the time,
Yeah.
but especially at like kids. I was super like bouncing off the walls as a kid.
Yeah.
They almost put me on God knows what, and thank God my parents didn't put me on that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know what would have happened.
You'd
but
have been fine.
look at all the sugar and bullshit that's in most children's food, like cafeteria food and stuff like that. There's a reason they're bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
It's because you're loading them up with crack.
Yeah.
Well,
And then and now you guys know about all these different big pushes in schools to take away recess.
Yeah.
There's a reason
That's
why you give 8-year-olds
ridiculous.
recess.
Yeah.
So they have all this energy. They go around, run around, get it all out, and then hey, come back inside. Let's talk about some math for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
It worked for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, back to the cultural thing. I think people are also getting lazy with their kids. It almost seems like because they're not.
They are.
Because they're
Not maybe. They
When
are.
I was a kid, I was required. My parents required me from the time I was in like first grade. I was always in sports.
Yeah.
I was always worn out by the time I got home. Was I a hyper kid? Yeah, just as hyper as any other kid.
Any other
but
kid.
I was doing so many like activities and
Yeah.
things like that I was so worn out. Like
Yeah.
it's like a dog, man. Like you don't leave a dog
It's not-
cooped up indoor
Yeah.
like inside all day.
It's not healthy.
It's gonna get hyper and tear shit up.
Yes.
Now if you take it out on a friggin' 5-mile run, not even necessarily 5 miles, just outside
Exercise,
and you
let him play,
exercise
get it out.
He's gonna be tired and he's not gonna tear shit up because
Yeah,
he doesn't have all this pent up energy.
I took my dog hiking when I went home like a couple weekends ago. He went, walking around. He's a little dog too, but he was walking around and like, by the time we got back to the car, he was just like laying down. He was looking up at me, but he had like the biggest smile on his face. And he was you could tell he was happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I feel that way now. I feel the same as I was when I was a little kid, just bouncing off the walls, needing to expend energy.
Yeah.
Dude, if I don't go to the gym, by the end of the night, I sit in my room and I
It
feel like
releases endorphins.
I feel
man.
anxious and depressed.
Yeah.
No, yeah, oh yeah, that's another
I
thing.
really
Like
do.
kids, they have all this pent up energy, and if they don't, do something to get rid of that energy, sports, anything, they're gonna act out. Not only that, like you said, depression. That's another big thing in society is depression.
Yeah.
If someone has something like, if you don't have anything in your life like goals or anything like that, you're just stagnant, right?
Yeah. Stagnation will fucking kill you.
You will get depressed. You will, like me just sitting in my barracks, like if I don't do anything all day and I just sit in my barracks, just like playing video games or some shit, I
can't do it.
I get all inside my head and I
happens,
go
yeah.
stir crazy.
It is though, man. And it's like, and I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm, fucking wise beyond my years.
No.
I'm 23 years old. But what I can fucking tell you is the stuff, the way that we were brought up, right? Because we're all about the same age, compared to the way that this new generation's getting brought up, right? And I don't want it to be I hate to sound like a fucking cop out, but like look at what you're seeing, right? Look at these kids who are all these fucking entitled college kids and all these people who are like going for who are advocating for all this shit. Like that fucking, I don't know the kid's name, but the kid who's like, he's the figure for gun advocation
David
right
Hogg.
now.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh,
David
yeah.
Hogg.
Yes.
Just got a book deal, by the way.
Thank you.
That
Yeah, got a book
John
deal.
Beta.
This motherfucker, right? This absolute fucking sheep, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking sheep. Because he's sitting here and he's going, well, people will listen to me. Do you know what you're talking about, though? Like, that's the thing. Like, we've talked about gun control, and it's like, let's break it down. And what do you think you're going to fix, right? Are you against school shooting? Yes. Are all of us in the military that's our job is violence? Like, are we against school shootings? 100%.
Yeah.
Totally fucking behind it. Is you taking away people's guns going to fix that?
No.
100% fucking no.
And that literally comes down to the only argument that even needs to be made for that is the fact that if you take guns away from the people that are law-abiding citizens, the ones that will actually, you put a law in place that says you can't have this gun, who's going to follow that?
The good guys.
The guys that aren't shooting up schools.
Yes. You know who's not? The fucking
The guys
bad
shooting
guys
up schools.
who still have guns that you don't know about.
Exactly. It
You're
doesn't
not
matter
built.
what you do law-wise. It's
not-
like
it's
the
not
war on
fixed.
drugs, man.
Yep.
You take away. You're like, hey, you can't do cocaine. Cool. I won't do cocaine because I'm gonna follow the law. 'Cause I don't
Yep.
want to go to prison. The dudes doing cocaine, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't
what
care
you
if
say.
it's a fucking law. They're
Yeah,
still
they
gonna
don't
do it.
care.
Yeah.
The guys that are willing to shoot up schools and kill these kids, they don't give a shit if you say they can't have that gun.
Nope.
You say that to somebody like David Hogg, though, and they're like, well, we at least have to try. We have to try.
That's such bullshit.
It's not-
because
it's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
Bad.
They're living in a world
They're not rational
that
people.
They're
is
not.
just
I hate
fabricated.
They are sheltered and they're entitled and they think that they're gonna fix things. And like Is his heart in the right place?
100%.
It comes out of that place of compassion I was talking
It
about.
does.
Yeah, it does. It's like, is he against fucking kids getting shot up? Like, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure he's in high school, so like it probably really hits him. Yeah, but 100%. But I'm telling you, man, and we've talked about in old episodes where it's like we went on crazy fucking examples where like there are guns don't even fucking exist, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not even like good guys have it bad. They're not real. There's
What if guns never got invented?
guns are not real. Guess what?
People are still finding
They're
ways.
gonna fucking hurt people. If people want to hurt people, they will fucking hurt them. So you can't fix it, right? And that's the thing. And that's where I feel, and it's awful to say that because you think about it. It's like, how do we stop school shootings, man? I don't fucking think you can. I really don't think you.
And I know that's absolutely terrible, and
that's human nature. You cannot fix evil. You can't.
It's such a shitty thing, and school shootings suck, man. Like, there's nothing you can say.
No good way about it.
But there's 100% no way to guarantee that it doesn't happen again.
It's not.
And they'll say, oh, if you take everyone's guns, then you can 100% guarantee. You can't.
Sure can't.
Someone will find a way.
I think in X amount of years, like way into the future.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how like we look back at like say Civil War, like medical practice.
Sure.
We're just like, that's like the dark ages.
He's got a splinter,
and
MT.
they're all idiots. We're like, those are idiots. Like, how do they not know this?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same thing a long time from now when they look at our culture and our like overall like mental health as a society.
Yeah.
I really think they're going to be like,
What the fuck?
they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna look at something we don't see now and be like, how do those dummies not know this?
Hindsight's
Yeah.
2020.
Exactly.
How do they not collapse or something? Yeah, exactly.
And I think eventually we will figure it out. I think I would very much hope that when I'm on my deathbed, I live in a world where it's like, remember when I was 21 and all the school shootings were going down?
Doesn't happen.
And it doesn't happen anymore?
Yeah.
That would be
Absolutely, very, very rarely. Instead of
Once
it
a
feels.
fucking- once
I know
a-
it's
once a
probably
week.
not once a week, but it almost feels like that.
Yeah.
And I think that also comes down to the press and the way the news represents
And that's-
everything. And that's another
It's a big part.
huge
It's a huge one.
issue.
Yeah,
because
issue that
you
we
look at David
realize.
Hogg, right? He's being completely abused by the press because this poor kid. He's he's not even really a kid. He's not that much younger than me, like 3 years.
Sure.
But the press is taking him because he can say things that the press can't say without being
He's a
just
voice.
completely destroyed.
Yes.
He can say it because he's a high school kid. No one can sit here and tear apart a high school kid because it's a dick move.
Yeah, they don't.
I'm not going to say that I'm not going to
And once you do,
because
people aren't going to listen to you. so-
Exactly.
Yeah, because at that point you're the dick who.
yeah, you're just an asshole who
Just harped on
laid
freshman.
into a
Yeah.
freaking high schooler.
Yeah.
But it's really fucked up that people don't realize that the news is just abusing these kids and just being like, oh hey, we're gonna use you as an outlet.
Yeah,
because
you are-
say
you're
you're
a
wrong.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucked up. And there's these kids. I feel bad for them almost because it's like they don't realize what's happening to them. And I hope one day they look back and go, like
I really
I hope
regret
they're
doing
successful
this.
and they go, I regret doing this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put my
Yeah.
political power, whatever political power they have,
Yeah.
which is actually they have a pretty big voice right now to the younger generation.
Yeah.
I hope they put that into something.
It's wasted
good,
potential. You know
it
what I'm
really
saying?
is.
Like,
Yeah.
the fucking David kid, man. Like right now, he's just wasting potential
Yeah.
because he could probably be really successful at something if it was accomplishable. He's not going to accomplish anything. He's not. You're just going to waste time, waste publicity, it's wasted potential.
Yeah.
So,
I
agree.
but
I don't think anytime you have a discussion like this that three dudes like talking about it are ever gonna like solve the problem.
I don't think we're
No,
trying to do
that's
that.
not at all.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying we are. I'm saying like
No.
everybody gets into these discussions. And,
Yeah.
But you never.
There's no fix.
I agree, but
Just-
you know, I think a big thing about like political discussions like this isn't necessarily like three dudes in a room talking about it changing the world.
Yeah.
It's not. It's maybe helping one person even realize that, you know what, like maybe I do need to look more into this and maybe change their mind a little bit. And then that slowly happens and they maybe change someone else's mind.
It's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, and it will. But, you know, that's all you can do. Like, you can't expect to change the world as three dudes sitting in a room.
No,
in a
and especially not
park.
overnight.
Yeah.
Empires are not built overnight.
No,
I
not at all.
I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed doing this podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, this is one of our.
We're starting. Yeah.
This one was thick.
Yeah, no, that was
It
good.
really was.
Yeah.
I had a blast doing it. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Dude,
really appreciate
absolutely, man. Like,
awesome.
Yeah,
Closing remarks, Nate. Thanks for coming on the show.
fuck yeah. Thanks for supporting it too. Like,
Yeah,
it was like
no,
this
yeah.
is, you didn't just like find out of the show and come on. Like, you actually.
No, yeah.
So like,
Yeah. I've been wanting to come on too because, like I said, I like wrote down some notes and stuff.
Yeah, that
I've
was
been really
awesome.
wanting to like
But like we talked about at the beginning of the show, I'm wanting to push for more guests, and
Yes.
I'm also not opposed to repeat guests if you ever want to come back on the show.
Dude, I love
Yeah,
you.
after
Honestly,
this
this is
one,
a
like
blast, man.
100%,
This is
dude.
awesome.
Repeat fucking guest, man.
Anytime you guys want to have me on, just let me know.
But-
like I said, I love
Fucking
this
Like I
shit.
said,
so-
I enjoyed this. It was good to have you on.
Yeah, I love it. Really good
I'll
one.
be back next week.
Yeah.
Don't know who the guest's going to be, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
let you
find out. We'll have someone new.
Tune in to Figure It Out with Nate and Charlie.
figure it out with Nate and Sean.
Sundays at 4.